welcome to another and very special episode of TFL Today, yes, and the entire TFL team just got back from the LA Auto Show, so this is going to be our top 5 new cars and trucks from the LA Auto Show. But before we get to that, we've got something very important, Andre.
Yes, I'm very curious about this. The Grand Tour show is going live.
So I got to watch it, and I was really surprised, Andre, because it's basically the same format. I thought it would be a completely different format. It's the same format. For the most part, it's really good.
So what about the people who don't know what Grand Tour is?
Yeah, that's of course the new Top Gear that features Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I will say the funniest part in the whole show is the celebrity part where they bring in the celebrities, and that's all I'm going to say because that's a laugh out loud moment when you watch it.
I haven't seen the show and I have a problem with this.
What's that?
I have to have a Prime account on Amazon to watch the show, and I don't want a Prime account right now. I wanted to pay for the episode.
We have put our best stuff on Amazon. There's actually 6 seasons of the best of TFL on Amazon where we took the, Cliffhanger, Gold Mine Hill, all of our off-road, all of our new car testing, all of our mashups, and created really good half-hour episodes. So if you guys want to support TFL, and if you're watching the Grand Tour, just type in TFLcar and you'll find TFL on Amazon, and you'll have to either buy an episode or buy a season, but it would be really helpful because we don't get paid for it, unlike those guys. We just put it up there, and if you guys, I think it's $1.99. If you guys buy a show, it helps us keep doing what we're doing, so that would be really good. And by the way, on our other YouTube channel, TFL Now, because Nathan's not here today, he has done his top 5 from the LA Auto Show.
Yep, we walked around the show. I mean, there's a lot happening at the LA Auto Show, and Nathan picked his top 5 and a bonus.
Yep.
And we're gonna do our top 5, but I think it's a lot of the same vehicles because we're excited about these vehicles.
Yeah, but I know a lot more about them than Nathan does.
What? Okay. All right. So how about number 5?
All right, number 5. And actually, I don't know anything about this because Nathan
was I'll tell you
at the reveal. It's the 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Is that how you pronounce it?
Stelvio, and this is a mountain road in Italy where, there's switchbacks. It's really challenging road, and they named this new crossover from Alfa Romeo after the road. But Alfa Romeo claims that this is the fastest crossover, but I think they mean gas-powered crossover.
Hey, all you have to know is one thing. They took a Giulia, lifted it, called it a crossover, done.
And of course, great Ferrari engineered suspension on this vehicle as well. Attention to detail throughout on the interior. Really excited to get it into the market.
Okay, it looks exactly like a Giulia, but it's related to the Maserati Levante.
Yeah.
And it says 2.9 liter twin turbo V6, 505 horsepower, that's the top of the line.
Right.
177 miles an hour top speed, and 3.9 seconds 0 to 60.
You guys are buying nothing but crossovers and SUVs, and the sedan is dead. And so right now, building a high-performance crossover or an SUV is like printing money. The F-Pace sold out. You just mentioned the Maserati.
Yeah, sold out.
Sold out. Even the Bentayga, $225,000 starting fee, sold out. So you don't need to be a brain surgeon to figure out that every manufacturer is basically taking a lifted station wagon and calling it a crossover, and you guys are buying it, which is great because I love station wagons. They're just now crossovers.
And all-wheel drive.
And all-wheel drive. And you know what? Some of these things aren't even lifted. They're not even that much taller.
No,
they're not.
performance. They're high-performance vehicles, basically.
Yeah. All right. Number 4. And
you know something about this.
Yeah, number 4. They rolled out, and in very typical Honda fashion, didn't tell us anything about it, the Honda Civic Si. And I've got a soft spot in my heart for the Si because it's just a really fun car. So we don't know how much horsepower it'll put out. We do know that it will have a 1.5 liter turbo. We do know that it will have a limited slip differential. We do know that it'll only come in a 6-speed manual. And we're guessing that it'll have about 230 horsepower.
Well, they said it's the most powerful Civic in the lineup so far. Number 3 is something I'm excited about.
Yeah, you know a lot
It's
about this.
the 2017 Chevy Colorado ZR2, the most off-road worthy Colorado pickup truck out there.
Now, we went to this like uber secret pre-meeting with Chevy, and they told us what makes it special. And it's these special shocks that are derived from Formula One technology.
Yep.
And what Chevy is claiming, that unlike Fox shocks or anything out there, these shocks actually allow you to go at twice the speed that you normally would be able to go over rough surfaces. So if you can go 40 on it with like regular Fox shocks or Bilsteins or something, you can go 80 with this because the shocks are so good.
The dampers in the ZR2 might look like traditional aluminum reservoir shocks, but the internal hardware is completely different from anything you've ever seen on an off-road truck. Multimatic developed their spool valve damper technology for motorsports. The damper structures include 3 precision spool valves to enable position-sensitive damping for the extreme suspension travel that's common in off-roading.
I actually had a chance of taking it on a
I saw that. It was a
little course.
yeah.
I couldn't drive. I was a passenger, once again, for legal reasons or whatever. But
I think for PR reasons.
for PR reasons.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. We took some big jumps, and it actually had a soft landing, but that's all I can say for now.
Yeah, you know, there's 3 things that make a Raptor fighter, right? Number 1 is you have to have a special look. So it's got to be like beefier, more off-road worthy.
It has a special hood. It's wider. It's taller.
They got rid of the goofy spoiler.
No more chin spoiler.
Number 2, you have to lift it and have better shocks.
Yep,
right?
got it.
Yeah. And number 3, you have to have a bigger motor or engine.
Don't have it. It comes with 2 engine options.
Right.
The 3.6 liter V6 gas and the 2.8 liter Duramax diesel, which you can get in other base Colorados, basically.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the formula is pretty straightforward, and yet, why couldn't Chevy put on a performance exhaust, maybe a better air intake, and up at 20 horsepower? That would have been very inexpensive, and it would have given it that next level of truckability. Instead, they spent a lot of money on the shocks, but you got to do the engine, dudes. I mean, if it's a Baja racer, it's got to have that performance engine.
But the really cool thing is dual lockers. Locker in the front,
I'll give
locker in the
credit
rear.
for that, yeah.
It's basically equivalent of a Rubicon Jeep Wrangler
Yeah.
or a Ram Power Wagon. I mean, this is a stratosphere of off-roaders where you have the traction when you need the traction.
Yeah, you might notice a little bit of skepticism in my voice today because that's after 4 days of being at the LA Auto Show and being fed a constant stream of, we are the best, greatest, biggest,
Of
largest,
all.
fastest ever. I'm a little tired of all that marketing and PR, and so I'm looking at it with a very cold, realistic eye. So we'll see. You know, I'm hoping for the best. Once again, we didn't get a chance behind the wheel, just like the Raptor. We didn't get to drive it. So until we drive it, we'll have to reserve judgment. Okay, number 2, and I was at this one.
Okay.
The 2017 Mazda CX-5, and they did quite the rollout because they did it the night before the show. They invited 2,000 of their best friends, I guess, customers, and did this huge presentation and then rolled out this car, and you thought that it what?
I think it looks identical to the old one.
They would
Okay.
not be happy because they spent a lot of time talking about how hard they work on design.
Can I explain?
Yeah, sure.
So I love Mazdas, first of all.
Okay.
I think the new CX-9 is really, really good.
Yeah,
It
it
has
is.
a new turbo engine,
Yes.
and the styling of it is great. But I saw the new CX-5 at the show. It was spinning on a turntable.
Yeah.
And I squinted and I looked at it and I said, okay, they changed the grille, the headlights, but the shape is the same and the same color, you know, the Mazda red, which looks really good. I didn't think they did enough to make it an all-new CX-5.
What do we have here? Is this a completely different car?
This is a huge step forward, especially the show tonight is about design. And if you look at the last CX-5, that has that was very practical, but that still had a little bit of playful through the design because of the vertical movement. Now we're making a huge gap towards Mazda Premium.
All right, number 1.
Okay.
Now, this is by far the star of the show, Andre, and I was actually at the launch, and the launch was really cool because what they did was they did a virtual launch. So they gave us VR,
Okay.
and we were like in this universe, literally standing on top of the spinning globe. And
Wow.
They did and it went beyond that. Not just a VR unveiling of the car, but they had in live time hooked up us in LA and journalists in London. Plus they had Ian Callan, who is the designer of the car, live as part of this
Talking to
presentation
you?
and asking questions between journalists. It was mind blowing. I think movies are dead. Once you've seen VR, you're like, oh my god, I want, you know. And you could actually take the car and they let you sit in the car, and it felt like I could put my hands on the steering wheel. Or better yet, you could actually take your head and pass it through the steering wheel and actually see what's behind it.
Okay, so the powertrain is basically two electric motors, one on the front, one on the rear. Each motor is 200 horsepower, 350 newton meters of torque, so 400 PS, 400 horsepower, 700 newton meters of torque. The powertrain we use, they're permanent magnet, synchronous motors with a concentric transmission on the end. And basically the drive shaft runs back through the electric motor to each axle.
The car was spectacular, just a stunning car. And you know, when I was there, I thought it competed with the Model X, but then after I did some research, it has a 93 kilowatt hour battery, so it really more directly competes with the Model S. So it's a hatchback.
Whoa.
It doesn't look. It's a tall crossover, and the Model S is obviously a sedan. But if you get past that part, it's a strict competitor to the Model S. The biggest downside is they're saying 90-minute recharge time.
90-minute recharge, 220
That's a lot
mile
of,
range.
That's a lot of coffees to be drinking while you're waiting for your car to charge up.
And 220 miles is not that high of a range.
Yeah, it's funny. 500 kilometers or 220 miles.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because obviously
Doesn't convert?
it doesn't convert. Because the European cycle, which is where they test the battery, is a lot more lenient than the American cycle.
And it doesn't look like a jelly bean. It
does-
actually has some style.
It does look
to
like a jelly bean, and it's going to be available hopefully in 2018. Now there's actually 3 of those cars coming, and they're remarkably similar. There's the e-tron, which is Audi, Mercedes has one, and the Audi has announced basically they're all within like a rounding error in terms of their size, and they all pretty much, Audi has announced very similar battery, Mercedes hasn't yet, but you know, Tesla better watch out because within 2 years there are going to be 3 cars directly aiming at the Model S.
And they're all competing together.
Yeah, so we'll see. Can't wait to drive it. Should be phenomenal. As always, Andre, we do a bonus.
Of course we do a bonus, and it's related to the vehicle behind me. Behind me is the 2017 Nissan Rogue, but at the LA Auto Show, Nissan unveiled the Rogue One Star Wars Special Edition, which is basically a white color or a black color Nissan Rogue with special badging, and the cool part, comes with a helmet.
Stormtrooper helmet.
Yep.
Pricing. So the pricing, the front wheel drive and all wheel drive are 2 options that you can get. On the front wheel drive, it is priced at $28,950. The all wheel drive package is $30,300. And they will start arriving in dealerships at the end of November.
So Nissan says, first of all, you have a lot of touches. You have the door sills that say Star Wars, the floor mats. You've got kind of ghost graphics on the back with the Empire and also the Rebellion.
But at some point, it kind of becomes like the collector market, right? The real limited edition cars will always be the limited production cars, and they are making over 5,000 of these. That's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot for limited edition.
So if you're thinking about getting this and thinking it's probably going to be worth more money in the long run, probably not, but you will get a cool helmet. So guys, don't forget to go and check out Nathan's Top 5 over at TFL Now. And of course, if you're watching the Grand Tour, have a peek at some of our stuff. We would love for you to watch it on Amazon. It really took us a lot of time and effort to polish these things. I think you'll find that they're really interesting episodes, and it'll help support the team here. So, you know, that's a nice way to give back to TFL if you appreciate what we're doing, because we're living on YouTube money, guys.
Yep.
As always, this is Roman
And Andre,
saying thanks for watching, and check out TFLcar.com for more news, views,
and real world auto show reviews.
see you guys next time. Ciao.